Okay. Let me try this again.
Hi, Susan. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. You know, the grandkids have been driving me crazy, the two of them.
Since I last saw you? Still
Yeah,
fighting?
Brandon actually disappeared for 2 weeks. Nobody knew where he was.
So when he wasn't here the week before last, and last week, no one knew where he was at all?
No, well, he called me after a week and let me know where he was. And I didn't want to tell everybody where he was and get them all worried about him. But he eventually came back.
He eventually came. So did his sister know? Did
No,
Ella know where he was?
No, that's when he came back.
And did you ever tell her, let her know that you knew where he was? Or
I just told him I knew that he was fine.
that he was fine, and he didn't reach out to her?
No, he didn't. No.
Okay. And why did you not feel the need to tell her where he was?
Well, I told her he was fine, so I felt that was enough. She doesn't need to know his business.
She doesn't need. You don't think that she has any right to know where he was? Make sure.
No, I told her she was fine, so she should have just accepted that. But when he came back, the two of them, they fought terrible.
What were they fighting about?
Well, the sister, Angela, was so upset that her brother disappeared. She didn't know what happened to him and what he was been up to, and they just haven't been getting along too well.
Okay, and were you there when they were fighting, or you just heard about it from...
No, I was there when they were fighting.
And did you say anything?
Not really. I didn't want to get involved so much with them two because they kind of put you in the middle and you don't know who to side to take. And I kind of resent that. The mother's never around. She's always been, since they're little, I've been taking care of them, raising them. So.
You've been raising them since she's not around at all?
Yes, yeah.
How did that start? Did she, one day say, can you babysit them, and then just became more frequent, or did you just take it on?
No, it started when they were little. When they went to school, she was at work, and I picked them up from school, and then I ended up giving them dinner until she got home in the afternoon.
And that evening. Her absences became more and more and more from there?
Yeah.
Did you ever, you have the choice to say yes or no to things like that. Did you ever consider, telling her she needs to be home because you can't watch them certain days, or, giving her...
Oh, no, I never told her no. I always let the kids come over whenever they want.
And you never felt that you could, or you just didn't want to?
No, I didn't want to. I just feel someone should be there for them.
And you felt you were that person to do it? What about the father? He was there in the beginning and then he passed away. What was he doing before he passed away, your son?
My son, he was a good kid. He just got mixed up in the wrong crowd, and he ends up getting hooked on drugs, and he overdosed one night when the kids were still little.
They were still really young. At this point, you were still taking care of them because he wasn't capable of
doing that. Well, after he passed away, the mother had to go back to work to support them, so that's how I kind of got more involved with the children also.
And I think I remember you mentioning something about your husband as well having an addiction to alcohol? Maybe? Yeah,
he was a miserable bastard. Yeah, that's why he was so mean to my son growing up.
And that's what. Do you see any sort of link between what's happening with Brandon now? Do you think he's having any issues? I know Angela mentioned in previous sessions that she thinks he might be having a problem similar to what your husband and your...
Well, not that I've seen. I know that he's been taking the painkillers, but he needs to take that for his injury. He's in a lot of pain. That he hurt himself during a football game.
And there's nothing, you've never helped him with any drugs or anything like that? You take him to the doctor's appointments?
Well, he usually takes me to my doctor's appointments, but, well, sometimes if I'm running a little low, because I'm on pain medicine for my arthritis, so if I run a little low on my medication, I'll take one of his pills or vice versa.
And you don't see...
No, but the prescribed pills, they're the same painkillers.
And you guys never use more than you need to, even if it is the same.
Well, sometimes at night I can't sleep, so I take a little more than I need to just to sleep at night.
So anything that Angela thinks, or you guys both might have an addiction problem, isn't really the truth.
Angela, she's my granddaughter. I love her. She's very successful, but I think she kind of exaggerates this problem. Sometimes I feel like she's the one that's making the problem because she's exaggerating. She's always accusing her brother being on drugs and.
Well, I mean, technically, if he has a certain prescription and if you have a certain prescription and you're using more of that when you think it's necessary, wouldn't you think that's the definition of an addiction or definition of a problem?
Well, I'm an old lady. I need to sleep at night. I don't feel well, so I just take a little extra just to get me through the night.
You take a little extra, more than what the doctor thinks would be necessary.
Yeah, the doctor doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know anything. And what about the multiple doctors that you go to get the different prescriptions?
Well, the one doctor I go to, I had surgery on my gums, so I got Vicodin from him. And then my arthritis, I get the oxycodone from my primary doctor.
Oxycodone for your arthritis?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds a little strong for arthritis.
Both. He gives it to me. I asked him for it, and he gives it to me. He feels it's, that I'm qualified to take it.
Okay. I'm only asking you this because I know with the grandkids around, maybe, this is a chance for us to talk. We don't really get to say much when they're both here as well. So that's the only reason why I'm asking you. That was just some concerns that Angela mentioned in the last session when Brandon wasn't here and a couple sessions before that as well. So I figured this now would be a good time, to ask you some questions about you and sort of things that are going on with you. I know she had some concerns as well just about your relationship with her. She says you don't really ask her for help with anything. It's really just you and Brandon together.
Well, I feel she's so busy with school and work, and she's such an overachiever, and she's such a successful young woman that I don't want to bother her with my nonsense. Just take me to the doctors. He's not working. He can take me.
She's busy, but the reason why I asked you is because I'm wondering how you felt about your relationship with her. Do you miss the closeness that you have with Brandon with her? Do you wish you were closer to her, or are you okay with what?
Well, we were close to her when she was younger, but she's grown up. She's, that's what happens when they hit that age. They go out on their own and they find their own way.
And there's nothing, I know as a caretaker you must have a strong bond with her as well. How do you feel about losing that bond with her now that she gets older and, you're letting her go off and do?
Well, she's a beautiful young woman. I still have that. We still love each other and we have that bond. But there's been a lot of conflict between us because of Brandon. She's always fighting with her brother.
Do you ever fight with her about her brother, or do you guys ever
No,
get
I try to stay out of it. I don't want to fight with either one of them. So when they fight, I try to stay away from them.
And do you ever argue with her about anything, even if it's not about him?
No, because like I said, she's such a good kid that she does everything right. So.
She does everything right. She's never done anything wrong, or you don't think there's anything now?
No, not that I could see with her, no.
Do you think, you mentioned once in a session that, she doesn't really help out her brother as much as you think she does. Why did you say that?
But she's always on her brother's case. I guess because, he's not working and maybe he's not doing the right thing, but there's a reason for it. It's because his leg is so messed up that he can't do as much as he used to. He can't work right now, so...
What have you ever, suggested anything that he could do?
Well, like a few sessions ago, we spoke about mowing the lawn. He'd do that for me every once in a while.
And he's fine to do that. Does he ever follow up on, I know you mentioned you offered to help him mowing your neighbors' lawns and things like that, but he doesn't ever actually do it. How do you feel about
not
that?
really. No, I get frustrated with him myself, too.
Mm-hmm.
I get angry that I guess I do get a little annoyed at him, too. That's why when Angela gets mad at him, I don't want to get mad at him also, because I feel like everybody be on his case.
You don't want to be one of those people on his case as well.
Yeah.
That must be hard. You want to help him, you want to motivate him, but you feel like you don't have a place. Why don't you feel you have a place as his grandmother, the person who raised him? Don't you think, he would respect your opinion and it might be the extra push that he needs?
Brandon needs more help than Angela does. He's not as equipped to handle life situations the way Angela is. Angela's a strong individual woman. He's more, after his father died, and he took it really hard.
But from what I understand, Brandon was one of the people, one of her main caretakers. They talked that they had a really close relationship growing up. He took care of her. So what makes you think that he's not as strong, if not stronger, than her, if he was one of the people, her main influence growing up?
But when they were younger, they were so close. He did take care of her. But as they get older, they're just going their separate ways.
And you think their father's death is what really affected him the most?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he took it very hard. I think Angela was kind of young, so she really didn't know her father as well. And so it didn't affect her as much. But he was, his father's little buddy. He was the firstborn. So when he died, when my son died, I think Brandon took it very hard. And that's when I kind of took Brandon under my arm and started taking care of him a lot more than I used to.
Okay. I think we're done. I hope that was 10 minutes. I think we started at 2.
Yeah.
Is there anything for you to